Vlog number 5. I decided to take this one to the board because this is a very important topic. It's health and energy. Now, health is partly our physical structure, which includes our organs, bones, tissue of all kinds, soft tissue, ligaments, tendons. It's also made of our cells, which creates the structure for all of these things. Now, this is where things get interesting because inside of our cells are many molecular particles, proteins, mitochondria, and other organelle is what it's called, which basically are the organs, bones, and tissues. Cytoplasm is like the blood of the cell. So the cells have their own physical structure, which is very similar to the human body. Now that's a very important factor that needs to be understood because cells behave intelligently. They're not like ants, as in they have one mind, which, you know what, they kind of are, but they can behave on their own. They can do their own thing. They can decide to disobey biological orders. We know this as cancer. When a cell decides to disobey the biological function of the body and replicate without dying and spreading, that causes metastatic cancer, which leads to death. So that entire phase of disease proves that cells they behave intelligently and they can behave on their own. Now that's an important factor because this is where energy, electromagnetic energy, which comes in the form of emotion, also thought, those electromagnetic frequencies emanate through our body from our brains and have a very close effect on how cells behave. Now that seems far-fetched, somewhat, but it's not at all. The electromagnetic frequencies that are around at all times are clearly understood by the most modern physics, quantum physics, astrophysics. I mean, all the ancient religions and civilizations understood that there was a permeating life force energy that goes through all and connects all. They call it, in some cultures, Rastafarian culture, they call it livity. And Hebrew, they call it ruah. It's called aether, the ether. I think in Hindu cultures, they call it prana. Chinese cultures, they call it chi. Wilhelm Reich, which is, it sounds terrible, his name. But he was an American, he died American, but he was a psychologist that came up with a form of life force energy called orgone. Astrophysics, they call it dark energy. Source field. And in quantum physics, they call it string theory. This is the force, like in Star Wars. It's everywhere, it's the universe, it's God, it's all, and everything comes from it. The most important particle that comes from this source field is the electron. That is the currency of life, of cellular behavior, the cytoplasm and the protein interactions, and actually how protein is even made because of charged atoms, the electromagnetic frequency between those atoms create the structure of the protein, and then that structured protein actually does work inside the cells, which does work inside of your tissues and organs and creates the physical vessel. So the physical vessel is literally made of electron charged particles or electron charged molecular molecules. It's very interesting to really understand how the late Dr. Sebi, he always said the body's electrical, right? You want to eat electrical foods. You want to consume things high in antioxidants. That's so true because of how the cells work. The energy that they use is electricity. Movement of electrons. Now, since electrons have never been seen before, they, in no better words, come out of thin air. They just pop on the scene. How is that? That is because divine intelligence works through the source field to create what needs to be in order for structure to happen. Now, this is a very metaphysical and somewhat spiritual idea. Now, I'm introducing this as my own opinion to these are facts, right? Electrons affecting cells and emotions and thoughts and electromagnetic fields affecting our body, that's all factual. But the divine intelligence, that is a spiritual concept. And I think that it works very, very similar, and it works hand in hand, I should say, with evolution. Because evolution is real. There's no question about evolution being real. It's only a question about how much did evolution play in the creation of human beings. Now that is up for debate. And in my opinion, there's no way that evolution could have created humans. But evolution is 100% factual because we can measure it through the activity of cells. Cells adapt, they change, they improve themselves, they show evolving. So that in itself proves that evolution is real. However, the extent of how evolution works has to be guided by some type of divine intelligence. And if we're looking, now we're going into the spiritual realm now, and we're looking at the law of the universe, laws of the universe, like the law of attraction or law of resonance, a law of free will. Now this is something that has to be upheld in order for our reality to be what it is. You can't have the heavenly forces come down and start messing around with us as human beings, because that would destroy our paradigm and the reason that we came and incarnated on this planet in the first place. So the best way, the only way to efficiently enact divine will is through the source field using these seemingly invisible particles, electrons and subatomic particles, which create the matter that we see. And that is brilliant in its sense because it can never be proven, yet it can never be disproven. And that is the marriage between divine intelligence and Mother Nature. All right, we are a byproduct of both of those things. And it is amazing to be alive at this point. It is amazing to be able to grasp all this information that's put out everywhere and then put the pieces together. Because only through putting the pieces together will we be able to see the whole picture